Good,
Ah,
right there. How you
respect.
doing, sir?
Good, good. When they
Yo,
about to do some Christmas work,
yo, listen, yo. If you're not the hardest working person in Jamaica, I don't know who is. Difficult to get a hold of you, man. Difficult to
Respect,
get a hold
man.
of you. But listen, I thank you for being here, and I thank you for accepting. I thank you for taking the time to be here amongst us and people all over the world logging in and thinking. I know you didn't have time to get it up on your site, but it's all good.
Yeah,
Still,
man, I send
we're
it
here.
out. I send it
Oh,
out
you
in
send
the
it out.
afternoon.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
Appreciate it. Listen,
Mm,
Mr. Crawford, listen, I'm a
respect.
Canadian, I'm a Canadian born young man. I don't know the in-depths of Jamaica like that, right? I know there's two parties. There's a PNP party, there's a JLP party. I understand that. I understand how the island runs from outside looking in. So right
Yeah.
now, tonight, we're going to try and ask you to explain to us certain things. Now, I have talked to some of the greatest selectors in this entire world, and I still have yet to talk to more great selectors because some of them I don't even know, right? The young ones and stuff, the upcoming ones. But the cry across the board, especially when I heard Ricky Trooper just the other day state something on his Instagram, and he left that and he said, you know what? Um, your name has been mentioned when it comes to entertainment and the reggae music and dancehall. You stand predominant in it. Um,
Respect.
so let's just start off like this. The way I got more wind of your name is through when I was talking to Jazzy J, and then I was talking to Trooper, and there was a problem with no entertainment, no vote. Do you remember that
Yeah,
situation?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can you honestly explain to us? We've heard two sides. Can you explain to us what happened? Where did everything go wrong in aspects of no entertainment, no vote?
No, well, the No Entertainment, No Vote is one of the first coordinated lobby efforts by the entertainment industry. Lobby efforts are not immediately successful. If you expect a lobby effort to be immediately successful, then you'd have to have the power of wealth or weapons. There's no
Okay.
coordinated people effort without the backing of weapon or wealth that is immediately successful. Martin Luther King wasn't immediately successful. Malcolm X wasn't immediately successful. Black
Correct.
Lives Matters isn't immediately successful. So therefore, coordinating people to lobby for their best interests isn't going to be a one-off activity. And if entertainers believe that it is going to be so, they're extremely incorrect. What it has done is to, one, create attention to their issues, and to two, cause for governments to be concerned about that lobby effort and the political impact that the lobby effort can have. That's the only real benefit of a lobby as it relates to government, to create a concern for political impact, which then lead to policy implementation to negate the political impact. So I didn't think anything went wrong. Some of the entertainment is hard to coordinate
Okay.
because there's so much opinion, so much influences, so diverse a view. As versus, for example, manufacturing, most of the people who are influencers in manufacturing have similar opinions. Entertainment don't have that type of similar opinion because a natural rivalry exists even within it
Okay.
for who is the best. You
Yeah.
see, because of the what do you call it now? The inability to say categorically who is the best. It is more subjective than objective.
Okay.
So Sanders have 50 hotels, he get the prize, he get the ranking. Sanders is the best.
Yeah.
Entertainment don't have that ease, and so it creates that kind of a competitive space that calls for coordination to be difficult. But I thought it was a good effort
Okay.
personally and a necessary act.
Right. And I felt I was compelled to, try and understand the sides of, you know, when I spoke to Jazzy J, and I have to call his name because that's who I spoke to, and I spoke to Trooper, and he had to pull out because he said he was in the involvement of speaking to, I'm not sure, was it you or was it somebody else? I can't remember, to be honest, about, you know, how this was going to portray. And then Jazzy, it was a last minute pullout of Trooper, which kind of shook the whole movement of, you know, of the no entertainment, no vote movement. And it shook, it stirred up everything because everything was set to go and set to move. Were you for or against the no entertainment, no
No,
vote?
I was 100% for. I'm gonna give you a secret which Trooper can actually speak to. When I was in the Ministry of Entertainment, I suggested to some entertainers to demonstrate against me because the government's interest in entertainment comes only when it's worried about their influence. It never comes from a predisposed support for entertainment because it sees entertainment and a lot of the public as recreation. It don't see it as a business. And tourism went through that for a period of time. Tourism was seen as recreation. It wasn't a proper area of study in the university. It wasn't seen as a business. And so because the government don't perceive it as an important contributor to the economic centers, that's why you find the Ministry of Tourism, Entertainment often going a social ministry. If I can just get a chance to explain, there is a economic ministry and there's a social ministry. So, for example,
can you do me a favor, Mr. Crawford?
Yeah. So the economic ministries are like ministries of mining, ministry of tourism, ministry of manufacturing, or ministry of industry. You understand? Those are economic ministries. They're supposed to generate income for the country. The social ministries are like ministries of health, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Culture. Those are social ministries. It's really about how do we organize our society. What you're going to often recognize is that entertainment is seldom placed in an economic ministry. It is always placed in a social ministry. So they don't see it as a business. So because they don't see it as a business, and it is not perceived as a necessary public good like education and health, it is always on the back burner. You understand?
Yes, Mr. Crawford, but this is a problem. This is a problem. Dance, reggae, dancehall, whatever you want to call it, has sound system owners, selectors, box people who do engineering, people who surround it, selling food. Is it not a business? Does it not conform in the tourism? People come to see this, to be involved in this.
You see, what has happened, you see, remember, most of entertainment is from the lower echelons of society, which would have said the low income. And most of government is from the upper echelons of society, which would have said high income. So even sometimes when a MP or a politician start out broke, he aspire to fit in with the wealthy. So by extension, he represents and understand it in that way. Now, entertainment.
Hold on. Is Sunfest a business?
It is, yes.
Is Sting a business?
Yes.
If a sound system has an anniversary and hires a superstar from foreign to come inside the island, is it not a business?
Well, very simply put, any effort to earn a profit by creating value is a business. You understand?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So what is happening is the perception of it from the policymakers, you see, because it is perceived as a nuisance more than a business. Now, remember, entertainment is the aspect of culture that have economic value. So there's other aspects of our culture that don't have economic value. But entertainment, like dancehall, is an aspect of our culture, but it have economic value.
But it has economic value.
Yes, great economic value. All right, I could just make a simple example. If you really look at it, right, you're going to find that dancehall then, right? Because I don't really want to say entertainment and people misunderstand it as dancehall is one aspect.
Okay.
Because if we could make greater content from even our drama, we'd have make more. There's some set of people in that aspect too. That is
Yes, sir.
not necessarily music, but is a part of entertainment. But
Yes,
I
sir.
could also look on dancehall.
All right.
Dancehall is one of those industries that take the least investment and give the highest return.
Yes, sir.
Just look on Bounty Killer, for example. He used to sell figurine.
Yes, sir.
Look on Vibes Cartel and what, I mean, unfortunately, I'm in jail now, but
Yeah.
the earnings that he has made, Beanie Man, the earnings that he has made.
Yeah.
So what you have found is the normal profit-seeking businesses needed high investments. They had great barriers to entry because you had to have a, for example, me have a farm. To start a farm, you need to own land. To start a farm, you need certain kind of manufacturing, machinery, etc., etc. It's a high investment. To do a
Yes.
factory, you need machines. It's a high investment. To be in entertainment is not high investment. So what it has caused is for some broke pocket people now to start to fit in, and that is always going to be resisted. It's not. I mean, taxi is resisted, dancehall is resisted, vending is resisted.
But Mr.
All
Crawford,
those businesses.
Mr. Crawford, isn't there
Mm.
a way to to manufacture them to say, okay, if you pay a certain fee, you register your sound, because registry comes with, registry comes with taxes and it comes with these things. So if you set up a program, if you set up, something to, manufacture what you say is, to register a business and manufacture something into the economics of
Yes.
the financial gains. What is there a problem to doing that?
No. Well, people don't like when I say these things, right? And sometimes you get into trouble. But you live in Canada, right? You
Yes,
might not experience it the same way as if you lived in the United States.
and I
But
understand.
there's a prejudice in the United States that calls for logic to be lost against the color of your skin, black people, right?
Okay.
There's a prejudice in Jamaica that calls for logic to be lost too. And that prejudice is really based on income. It is a class prejudice. You understand? And
Okay.
so those things that are industries for the poor are frowned upon. And those things that are industries for the rich are celebrated. And those people who identify that are sidelined. So when I said to people, yo, listen, you see the bailout that they do for tourism because of COVID?
Mm-hmm.
They don't do the same bailout for entertainment because of COVID. When at best, entertainment is equally affected, if not more affected, by COVID. So, what is the reason for entertainment to be less important in the eyes of policy and
Yeah.
for tourism to be so important? Is because tourism is owned by the wealthy, whether you start wealthy or became wealthy. Entertainment is owned by the not wealthy. And by extension, that prejudice raises its ugly head.
Oh,
So we
I'm
have to
sorry.
really
I think
recognize
your
the
volume dropped.
prejudice.
Is it my volume or can everybody hear you?
I'm not sure. I'm hearing you. You hearing me?
You're hearing me clear?
Yeah, man. May I hear you, man? Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
your volume dropped to me.
Oh, yeah. No,
Um,
you were calling me, yeah? So,
there you go. Yes,
mm,
that's much better.
mm.
Yeah, you need to drop the phone again so we can see you.
Rastafari.
There we go. Yes.
Mm.
Um, listen, I understand it and fully hear what you're saying. My problem is, who is the government for? The government is for the people, whether
Yeah,
you're poor, rich, or that. It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. Am I wrong or am I
correct.
missing
You're
something?
correct. Yeah.
So if you have something that, okay, they look upon and say it's poor people are dealing with this at the best of this, but it's manufacturing something. Can the government not make some sort of subsidy towards the beneficial of sound system owners, selectors, or whatever this part is it that difficult? I mean, I'm gonna show you something from
Mm.
2018 to 2019 in travel and tourism. Jamaica made close to $7 billion US. $7 billion in a span of a year.
Yes.
Correct. So I mean, half of those tourism that came down to talk about. They came to look at dancehall. They came to go to the clubs. They came to enjoy Jamaica's out spirit. Let's just say, call it the out
Yes.
spirit, the outside enjoyment and stuff like that. Is there not a way that the people who are providing that enjoyment for people who are flying in, is there not a way, besides them just keeping a little local party, a local dance, is there not a way that the government could see that these are people bringing in foreigners, left, right? Because not all of us want to go to the resort and lock down in a resort and go into the club.
No, when we want, especially the entertainers, you see, remember, I'm a politician, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
I have chosen that as my contribution to society. Some people choose Kiwanis Club, some people choose Rotary, you know what I mean? So
yes.
I have chosen politics as my contribution.
Yeah.
But we don't have a political conversation now, right? We can have a political debate when me and another person from the other side can defend themselves. See?
Okay. Yeah.
So when I say this, oftentimes prejudice isn't really the intent of the government. It's just that the government is caught up within the prejudice of the society. Now, I always say to myself, you see, once I don't see logic, I look for malice. So what you have said is logic, but I don't see that logic, so I start look for malice. I'm giving you an example.
Yes, sir.
I was the first minister of entertainment to fund Sting, to sponsor Sting.
Okay. Okay.
That sponsorship was $2 million Jamaican dollars.
Okay.
Compared to what we sponsor Jazz and Blues. There was a year that we sponsored Jazz and Blues, $500,000.
Wow.
Now meditate. Jazz and Blues facilitate mostly Kingstonians and Jamaicans going down to Montego Bay to embrace foreign music, which we grew up on.
Right. Okay.
Like Kenny Rogers. I went and I love it. I mean, I fight Jazz and Blues. Sometimes when you give an example, a comparison, a man said that you're anti the other one. I'm just pro Jamaican music. I'm not anti Celine Dion. I was there. I enjoyed it.
Yes.
I'm showing you that nobody in the society frowned when we sponsored Jazz and Blues. Correct. However, when we sponsored Sting, and that's the year that Macca Diamond and Lady saw the clash, right?
Okay.
We'd have to be on the radio the next week explaining how we come to sponsor Sting. Because if you don't appreciate yourself, then you won't appreciate the outcome of yourself.
Yes, sir.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
If you don't appreciate Africa, they don't appreciate African clothes. Yes. If you don't appreciate Canada, they don't appreciate Canadian people. So if you don't appreciate self, you don't appreciate the output of self. Yes. So we will watch a gun show, but we will cuss a gun song. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
there was a time that Peter Bunting was the Minister of Security. He said that they were going to criminalize violent songs. I had to come out and say, if you criminalize violent song, then how we are going to read Macbeth? Because Macbeth is based on just war and murder.
Yes,
and
sir.
how you are going to watch some gun show, Rambo. How you are going to watch Rambo? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes,
but
sir.
the output of self is frowned upon because we don't appreciate ourselves or that aspect of ourselves. So when we say Jamaica out of many one people, the low income part of out of many isn't appreciated by even the lower income people. Not just the rich people, you know. Prejudice means some black people think it is right to be treated as they are being treated. And prejudice means that some poor people think it is right to be treated as how they are treated.
Yeah.
So, as I say, look at vending. You go downtown, the man with the store, him have two roads. Him have the front road to enter, and him have the back road to load in his goods. The man selling on the road have no road at all. Him have to run up and down when police come.
Yeah.
Look at taxi. A man own a taxi. He's charging the same amount of money as the JUTC, the Jamaica Urban Transport. That is a government bus system. It's the same fare. but we have to subsidize the Jamaica urban transport system. Him not get no subsidy. So he now start to drive back because he might try to make as much trip as possible. All the industries for the poor have never been facilitated in the same way as industries for the rich. And until we recognize that prejudice and lobby against that prejudice, then dancehall by itself will stand out like a sore thumb. It's like you have a Black Lives Matter for Atlanta, but nobody cares about New York. You have to look at it as a fulsome prejudice that we have inherited 2 years of just looking down on the poor.
Do you think within, after the moves that you're trying to make and the positive push that you're trying to do you think you lack the support from those that you're trying to help?
You see, what is the problem? Our problems are difficult, so the solutions isn't simple. And so when people lack foresight, they don't see the solution because they look at a simple, immediate fix. So when a person say, yo, okay, let us just change noise abatement. That's an immediate fix. And we want to change noise abatement. But noise abatement starts by accepting that it's a business. Because what the noise is simply a nuisance for the business. Just like stench is a nuisance for farms. And noise is a nuisance for mining. And dust is a nuisance for mining. Or traffic is a nuisance for tourists. So when there's a ship there, there's a traffic nuisance. Noise is a nuisance for entertainment. If it is a business, then you must then analyze the impact of the nuisance and the impact of the earnings, just like we do for farms, just like we do for everything else.
That's just a store in general, business aspect, business time, business.
Exactly. So you know, if the Toronto Raptors want to build a stadium, there's going to be nuisance too. Yes, but you have to then now analyze the benefits that it brings. And so therefore, what I've found is Jamaicans in general, but the entertainment industry, they lack foresight. They play checkers and them now play chess. I was reading today, which is something we may encourage. Like the more we read, is the more we learn. We have not found the limit to knowledge as yet. No one has found the limit to knowledge, which means that we can read as much and learn as much as we can. I'm reading today and them say, yo, a good chess player sees the next move. A great chess player sees the end and then moves.
Okay.
So you comes and say, this is how the game I will finish. That is 10 steps ahead. You know, move it, but you say, when I do X, him do Y, then me do A, then him do B. The entertainment industry move from A to B, now move from A to Z. So they're fighting, like I said, okay, no thing, no vote, and them do one time and then them stop.
No consistency.
No consistency, no continuation, no end game.
So it doesn't look as powerful as a movement because one time.
Because it's Jazzy them got frustrated and think because some people never jump on board and whatever, right?
You have to keep going.
Yo, check out Malcolm X, there's black people kill him, yeah?
Yes.
Check out Martin Luther, people were against him, black people. So when you look at the reality, yo, sometimes me get some cussing, just sometimes I wonder like, why me I do this? Why me I try make this contribution? Because
now we're finally seeing a point. Now I see what's going on.
Yeah, you know,
that's
the truth.
There we go. Finally,
in Jamaica, there's a new thing, right?
Where man say the consistency of the movement that we lack unified to go forward together. If we continue to do that, would the government now have to take a look upon the people in the movement? So if, let's just say, we are penetrating the argument from Canada, from America, from UK, from Germany, from France, from Africa, from wherever, you have nothing, no choice, but the government has no choice but to listen to us.
The influence that entertainers have, they don't understand it. in Jamaica. Remember, we start drink Guinness when entertainers said drink Guinness. Then we stop and start to drink NEC when entertainment said drink NEC. Then we start to drink. Every time that they change their consumption, the public follows. That's the influence that they have. But they have never used that influence for the industry. They use that influence for earnings. So they support a brand or whatever, and they use that influence for earnings. But if they should come together and use that influence for the industry, let me tell you, you see, when tourism have a problem, Bush Stewart shows up.
Yes.
And Bush Stewart is like, yo, we have a problem. And his influence is going to join up with all the other tourist people, east of them and everybody influence. And they do it for the industry. There are other times when do it for Sanders himself. So me not tell a man don't earn. Me not tell Bounty don't endorse Digicel. Me not tell Beanie Man don't endorse whatever. Right? Because you have to live. It's a earning. You understand?
Yes.
But I'm saying if the influence stops at the individual and not coordinate for the industry, then them are act separate from how separate act for manufacturing.
Understood.
You understand me?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
that's one of the problems that we have. So, you know, if the influence that they have, when they said no, no vote, no entertainment, no vote, me can tell you that my party was calling me like, yo, Damon, what's going on? Because they're saying, yo, the man said don't vote, you know, people will not vote.
Wow.
You understand? And remember, me never said no entertainment PMP vote or no entertainment JP vote. You know?
Yes.
The man said no vote. And I endorsed it because, yo, if policy don't come my way, then why would I put policymakers in place?
Correct. I
You get
understand.
me? So,
Yes.
yeah, that's the thing.
Mr. Crawford, what is the state now that, listen, I'm outside looking in. I've heard your side. I don't know the other side to this point. I'm talking to you. So this is what's important. So I understand your point and I understand what you've been doing. Was there a problem within your own party for you to move ahead? If they didn't do this, if they didn't understand the power of what they had, you couldn't have gotten anywhere, because once you said something happened in the streets, or like, and I say in the streets, meaning the culture, the reggae and stuff, you got the phone call. It was you were the connect, you were the linkage. So therefore, if they had, you know, if you had brought forth your situations and thing, and they saw it as, you know, what you're doing is correct, is there a problem within your own party?
Yeah, because generally in the society, entertainment isn't respected. In the society. So that's why I say, me not even look at just the other side, or say the JLP or the PMP. Because when we went, all right, remember a government faced constraints in resources. If there were no constraints, there'd be no need for government. It's because everybody can get what they want, why we choose somebody to decide who get. Yeah,
Okay.
that's how government really is. So everybody can get a road, so we choose somebody to decide who get road. If everybody could get road, we never need a choice. So we don't need nobody to decide. So government is based on the reality that there are constraints. You agree?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Now those constraints is not only financial resources. It can also be human resources. So when I want to change a law, for example, we have about 2 people who know how to write laws, because writing a law is not a simple thing. You get it? So,
Yes.
for example, if I write a law and I say shall as versus may, it's a different thing. If I say that the party shall end at 2, that means there's no discussion. If I say the party may end at 2, it means that we can have a discussion. Okay. So the Noise Abatement Act says shall end as versus may end. That's why even if you keep it in a bush, it don't matter. Are you understand what I'm saying? Yes, so when we got to these 2 people and say we want an entertainment law to be written, they say, listen, man, you go one side. We have an economics law to be written. We have a security law to be written. We have a labor law to be written. And entertainment isn't as important. No, when I was trying to say to them, yo, some of the labor issues is because we don't have proper entertainment laws. Because some people could be entrepreneurs instead of go look work if we had proper entertainment laws. Some
Yeah.
of the security issues is because we don't have proper entertainment laws. Because some of the youth them know who are turned to earning from scamming or earning from murder or earning from gang.
Yeah.
Could be earning from having a promotion crew.
Right.
You,
Yeah.
you, you pre what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if you not start out with that logic, that entertainment is an answer to many of the ills that we face.
Wow.
If you don't start out with that logic, you don't get neither human resource nor do you get human capital resource. You know, get government money to spend and you don't get. So let me tell you, when I went to, if I was the Minister of Health and I got to every hospital, they would say I'm a good minister, I'm working. If I'm the Minister of Education, I go to every school, good minister is working.
Yes.
If I was the Minister of Agriculture, visit enough farms. Wow, this man is in the streets.
Yes.
But if I'm the Minister of Entertainment and I go to parties, I'm idle. So it carries us to how we perceive the industry. It is a joke.
So
And by
far,
extension, I'm a joker.
I've analyzed that the problem that the society has is that you are understanding everything that needs to be said and done, and you understand what is happening, let's call it in the entertainment, you know, section, and the rest of the party is not understanding or not respecting this this entertainment sector. So what's the point in having an entertainment, you know, how can I sector? If you're doing your job and you're bringing forth for the people, by the people, with the people, you're bringing your, you know, you're part of this job, the entertainment sector towards them, and they don't care. What is left to do now? What is the solution now? What is left to do? If we argue and we fight, they get locked up. If they don't play the music or whatever, they lose money. Because right now, and they're idle, and the people want, oh, you don't have no job. Selector should be a job. Sound system should be a business. It should be incorporated in the thing. We've been through this. I mean, we've seen the numbers come in for what tourism and this entertainment does. We've seen the numbers. Jamaica is getting, I don't know who's getting the money, but somebody's getting something.
Yeah.
Somebody's getting something off the hard-working backs of these selectors.
Somebody just type in the thing, say entertainment is a scapegoat. And governments, when I say government, I'm not talking about the current government. I said governments, America government, PNP government, JP government. Okay. They like scapegoats. Because then what they do is to blame everything on the scapegoat. So, for example, entertainment get more blame for crime than education. You know? They blame entertainment for crime more than they blame education. When the majority of criminal elements go to bad schools, not listen bad music. Because I listen gun songs and I am not a criminal.
Correct.
In fact, most of us listen gun songs. And mathematically, if you should give every murder to a different murderer, meaning that a man only kill one person and stop, we have less than 2,000 murderers. Because last year alone we have 1,600 murder. So how is it that 1 million of us listen gun song and only 2,000 of us became a murderer if the song was the source?
The math don't add up.
It don't add up, but it's a scapegoat. It's a scapegoat for governments. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So what happens is that if you start to embrace the scapegoat, it can't be a scapegoat again. You understand? For example, if you have a friend that every time your mother says, oh, why you did this wrong? You say, you know, says John lead me astray.
Yeah.
You can't carry John go your yard, you know, because your mother said John is leading the son astray. You understand what I'm saying? So they're laughing because it is so funny, you know what I mean? Just like how some communities are scapegoats. If you
Yeah.
embrace those communities, they can no longer be scapegoats.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
therefore, what is happening is that we are using entertainment. We can make so much money, right?
Listen.
I went to France, bro.
Yes.
Reggae Sunscare.
Yeah.
30,000 people living in tents for
Like
3
a sun.
days.
Listen,
You
it's
get
like a
me?
sun fest. It's huge.
Huge. So when we have a 10,000 and I say whatever, I'm like, yo, we don't even know what's going on. I went again to Rotterdam Festival, 80,000
I
people.
was just about to tell you that.
Yo,
Using the Jamaican music, Jamaican entertainers, making money. It's part of the economical stimulus, and the country, the island that could start this, that starts it, that has it, that people embrace to, is not using it for economical stimulus. I'm appalled.
well, that is
Something.
why when I was minister, we went for the protection of reggae under UNESCO. Remember, Kingston is now a creative city,
Okay.
right? For
Yeah, I
music.
don't know, but sure.
Because what we wanted was to then position Jamaica to get 20% of these people every year who go to Rotterdam, who go to Reggae Sun Scare,
It can
who go to
happen.
Reggae Jail, who go to Reggae Jam. I mean, I talk about this at Germany, Belgium, Spain, France.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? If
Yes.
10% of these people, which is adding up into the thousands and hundreds of thousands, were to then say we're going to the Mecca, like how the Jew want to go to Israel. You get what
Yes.
I'm saying,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
If we're going to the Mecca of entertainment. Now, the other thing is that we don't separate attraction and attractor. And you spoke about the $7 billion for tourists, yeah?
Yes.
And my lecture tourism at UE, yeah? So the attractor is the reason you come.
Yes.
And in the main, that is really the weather. That's why we have winter season and enough of people come and then pay enough of money.
Yeah.
The weather difference. You see, like now in
Yeah.
Canada, you might be
Yeah.
freezing, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you have a bad winter, we know we'll get enough people.
Right.
Sometimes we're out here praying that you get a bad winter, you know what I mean?
Don't do me. Don't do
So,
me.
yeah,
I understand. I
yeah, good.
understand.
That's the attractor.
Yeah. I
The
get it.
attraction is what you
Yeah.
do when you come here.
Yes.
You get me? So
Yeah.
when you come here, you want to go to Duns River Falls. Duns River Falls is not the attractor. You never come Jamaica to go Duns River Falls. But being that you're here, you're going to go. Just
My
like
ability.
when I'm in Mexico, I drink some tequila. I'm really a rum man, you know. But I'm
Yeah.
in Mexico. So I go drink some tequila, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yes.
And I go do
I
two tango
understand.
and two merengue and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So the entertainment, Jamaica's entertainment, can also be an attraction as well as an attractor. So we can have, like we tried 90 days of summer as a festival period.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
When we reggae month, which is February, I
February,
made a
right?
proposal once, say, yo, let's move it from February because the hotel is already full and we could then use it as an attractor
Okay.
in like the summer months and thing like that, you know.
Right.
But like Muta then did vex about it and feel like me I disrespect Bob Marley or whatever, which wasn't the case. Me just I say, yo, if we take it out of when people already are come, which is the winter, and put it into when we need people, then government will be more interested in it.
Listen, wait, did you not explain during the February when it's cold up here, we're going to be on the island anyway? So,
Exactly.
so basically put it to a time where you have a decrease of the amount of people and it'll involve people coming in regardless. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's what you're saying. So,
Yes, yes, yes.
I,
And
you know, I
and
don't
and
know
also
Musa, and
it
I'm not going to
created
fight it.
more money for entertainment. Because when you come in February, most of your money spent off in the hotel. The rate
Right.
is so high that you can't drink no liquor at the party.
Yeah, it's foolishness still. I'm just telling you, the hotel does not give you the Jamaican experience that you really want.
It cannot, because the
It never
hotel,
does.
all right. Remember, the hotel have to be many things to many people.
Yeah.
So him can't get too far on any level. You understand? Him can't put
Okay.
too much salt and him can't put too little salt.
Yeah. But
Now, what may I
I,
say is, if a man come to Jamaica when the hotel rate is $1,000 a night, he might have
yeah.
less to spend in the
At the,
city, in the
yeah.
town, than if he comes to Jamaica when it's $300 a night.
Yeah.
Are you understanding what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes,
So
sir.
therefore, we were lobbying for that. So what may I say is that if we get, what did they say we get again? 2 million tourists stop over.
2.2 million tourists.
Right. Let us say that 20% of those want to consume dancehall, because not all of them want to consume dancehall.
No.
We
Right.
are looking upon, in that case, 440,000 people. That's 20% of 2.2 million.
You know how much money that?
10% is 220,000. I'll put
Yeah.
another 10%, so that is 2 times 220, 440,000 people. Let us say that each of them spend 50 US, just 50 US dollars. See? So I look
Yeah.
on 440,000 times 10, that's 4 million, 4.4 million, 4.4 million. We look on 20 million US dollar.
That could be consumed by month or by
I
week.
talk about for the year. For the year, of
Okay.
all the people come, 20% want go party. We are look on, how much me say? 20
20
million
million.
US.
20 million
US.
US. 20 million
Times
US.
100, we are
Yeah.
look on 2 billion. We are look on nearly 3 billion Jamaican dollars. That's 3,000 million Jamaican dollars.
My gosh.
That's 20%,
That is nothing that a selector can't get a payment out of this, a sound system, a club, a bar, a ownership, whatever. That is across the island, 100% doable. I'm sorry, Mr. Crawford, it's doable.
That's what I'm saying. That's how simple. Now imagine if a 50%.
My
Imagine
God.
if we promoted it. Imagine if when you're on the plane, you could go to a channel and watch, those TV things at the back of the plane, the seat.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could select something where just tell you events that are being held and promoting it and saying, yo, check this out. Imagine if we put entertainment in the same way we promote Duns River Falls.
I go there. I never been to Duns River Falls. And I used to live in St. Anne's. Like that's where my
Mm.
my house is. Never been. I mean, this is just common sense what you're saying, sir. This is just straight common sense, and it endures the culture that the world has embraced. The world is
Yeah.
basically right now, I'm looking at Germany, France, UK, America taking over the culture.
Well,
Um,
France was saying that they're the home of reggae. We had to then now apply for the protection of reggae, because the next 10 years maybe they'll say it's them for real. So that is how we applied for reggae's protection, because France was saying they were the home of reggae. And I was like, wow.
it just get from
Now,
bad to worse. It just get from bad to worse.
when you go, we wanted to do a walk of fame around the park in Half Tree.
Okay, what
And
what
they
is that exactly? What is the Walk of Fame? And you're gonna
Okay,
line up
so the
like the
vintage
Hollywood Bowl?
artists, they came to us, and we have to big up Fab Five and some of those people and say, yo, we
Okay.
would want to recognize our artists, yeah. So we
Yes.
were saying that around the New Kingston Park, we would put stars then, like, oh, you on the Hollywood Walk,
A
and
Hollywood.
and
Okay.
then
Yeah.
you could see, once a man qualify over time, you could see his star, you could scan his thing, you could find his music and stuff like that. Select the same way, stuff like that. Represent the entertainment, because sometimes when we say entertainment, we're only looking at the DJs,
Yes.
yeah. We now look
Exactly.
at top lighting people, at top backing bands, at
Yeah.
selectors, who are the people who bust the DJs in the first place.
Yes. All right.
You get where I come from?
Yes.
When sometimes I explain to Americans why a lot of Jamaicans don't fight to sell music, is because they kind of give you free music and then make money from the stage show.
Okay.
You understand? So when a selector promote, and you bust, the amount of money you make from stage show is really how you make a money. You eat a food.
Correct.
So when like I see now Boom Boom, right? And Boom Boom is a selector with me personally rate, you get me?
Okay.
I'm gonna see him a push this Skilly Bang and him a push them youth there, right? Him a campaign in the streets for them. Every day, every day, every day. Now when them busting and thing, I will know them. Them get 3-4 show in a New York. Yeah, man, I'm a real fool, you get me? So
Yes.
we kind of ignore the selectors when we speak to the dancehall industry, not recognizing the role they play in giving us bounty and giving us beanie and giving us those people who become stars. You
Yeah.
understand? Almost
Yeah.
all of them have a campaigner in the streets
Yes.
before
Yes.
them bust, you get me?
Mm-hmm.
So when me says we wanted this walk of fame, so a man could have then scan and say, who's Trooper? Because Trooper qualify over time for the walk of fame. You get me? And then him start to now consume Trooper on YouTube. Him go to Trooper page. Because the monetization of entertainment is not only in the space, you know.
Okay.
It's not only in the dance. You get me? I say, when a man say, okay, I want to watch this clash. Who's Jazzy? Okay, who's Boom Boom? Okay, who's whatever? Because him depend on the fame over time.
Yeah.
And it gives great exposure now. You
Yeah.
get me? So this
Yeah.
walk of fame, and a man could then consume the music. We went again to say, yo, we got some people to come in and say, yo, they're going to make an exercise video from our dances. Because
Which
we now
they do. They do. Ding Dong has crazy videos of people doing exercises, taking it out there,
but
right?
we needed now somebody who was an expert in that type of physiological whatever to say signal the plane, exercise the pecs, and gully creeper, exercise the glutes, and fling, exercise the back, and you
Yes.
do 5 flings, 3 gully creep, 2, because exercise is not just doing anything. You understand? This
Yes.
one is for the abs, and then you put together a thing, and the people who invented it get money every time it's download.
Yeah. It's called royalties. Simple.
Get royalty. So what me I try to show is that the monetization of entertainment, we not start pinch it yet. We don't start pinch it yet, because when I go into the craft market, I see an elephant and a giraffe, but I don't see Peter Touch guitar, a replica of Peter Touch gun guitar, or a replica of whatever Spikes, or a replica of Bob Marley's mic. You understand?
Yeah.
We don't see entertainment making craft in the same way that we see people sell a fish. Which
Yes.
really no make Jamaica any more special than Barbados or Trinidad, you pre. You
I also
understand? So a man can buy a small stone love carving. Like how we can buy a ship in a bottle then.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever
Yeah.
see a ship in a bottle?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So why we can't buy a sound system in a bottle?
Yeah.
You get what I say?
So
Yeah.
so the marketing is not there as well. So we've lost the unification. We've lost the motivation of the united front, and we don't have the marketing. So we have three. That's what I'm getting from you.
Yeah.
That's what's lost right now. Because if we have more things in store to push this genre of music to the highest. Because I'm gonna tell you, Mr. Crawford, as a Canadian, I'm born Canadian. Reggae music is the best music. I know the calypso people might be upset. I love it. Respect to calypso, respect to hip hop, respect to souls and R&B and every kind of. But for me, my own personal opinion, reggae music, it gives